Coach Davis, can you make sure the music is off now?
I'm a pretty soft-spoken guy, so hopefully you can hear me. Just in case my accent off a little bit. Good evening, all. Welcome to Waupun and Jerry Baseball Field. What you are about to witness tonight will go down in the history books, not only in Waupun and Oconomowoc, but throughout the beautiful state of Wisconsin. For the first time ever, Waupun will play host to the very first Wisconsin American Legion softball game. As I prepare my remarks tonight, I'll be speaking from two different perspectives. My name is Derek Stanky, and I'm the head coach of Waupun Coach 210 Legion Softball, and I also serve as the State of Wisconsin American Legion State Softball Chairman. I want to thank you all for being in attendance tonight. For 96 years, the Wisconsin American Legion has supported Legion baseball. Beginning in the fall of 2021, the Wisconsin American Legion agreed to sponsor and promote Wisconsin American Legion softball. At that time, I was serving as Region 5 Wisconsin American Legion Baseball Assistant Director when I was asked by Commissioner Roger Matheson to head the start of the Wisconsin Legion softball. I'd like to take a moment to share with you, when I find my spot here, hold on. I'd like to take a moment to share with you the Wisconsin American Legion softball executive board members who helped turn this dream into reality. Roger Matheson of Westby serves as our commissioner. Myself as state chairman. Waupun assistant coach Josh Novice serves as a director. And Jim Wickert of McFarland serves as a director as well. And as well as the staff at Wisconsin American Legion headquarters in Portage. I personally want to thank those individuals for all their work and dedication to make this new program a possibility. I'm happy to announce that we have 30 teams registered for our inaugural season. Wisconsin American Legion softball will mimic that of Wisconsin American Legion baseball. It will offer an opportunity for regular season play, regional tournament play, as well as 2 state tournaments, scholarship opportunity, and potentially an all-star event. The first ever Wisconsin American Legion State Softball Tournament will be held in DeForest, Wisconsin, July 28th through 30th. On behalf of the Wisconsin American Legion Softball Board of Directors, we want to thank all the players, teams, coaches, families, friends that have entrusted in us to give girls an opportunity to do something they love to do. As I shift gears over to our local side, I'd like to recognize some local businesses and individuals who have helped build the Waupun Post 210 Legion softball program. Financial sponsors of the program include Fox Lake American Legion Post 521, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, Brandon Meats, Glamour Shop, Home and Auto Sales, Oricon Bank, Paul's 151 Implement, Judson's Bowling, Waupun Knights of Columbus, Council 4897, Municipal Well and Pump, Piggly Wiggly, Rediker Dairy, SIA Insurance, Waupun Girls Softball Association, and Orville and Judith Westfall. Through the amazing donation of these businesses and individuals, we are able to offer the opportunity to our team to be able to play the game of softball for no charge to the players or the families. A huge, sincere thank you to all those who have made this a reality. As I wrap this up, I'd like to take a moment and recognize any and all active military members and any retired veterans. Would all those in attendance please stand? I'd like to say thank you for their dedication and their sacrifices they have made for us to be able to stand here today about to play a game that we love to coach and play. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Coach Stanky for his kind words and getting things started. Our next speaker, Mayor of Waupun, Ron Bishop.
Thank you, Mr. Tapes. First, I'd like to say it's an honor to be here as the mayor and represent the city of Waupun, along with Alderman Westfall and Matashek. I think it's pretty cool that the first American Legion softball game is going to be played right here at Meadema Fields in Waupun, Wisconsin. Here at Meadema Fields, we have a very long, successful tradition of softball, and across town, we have a very long, successful tradition of American Legion baseball. And I think it's super appropriate that we're going to carry out that past over here, that legacy of American Legion baseball to American Legion softball on both sides of town. I'd like to congratulate Derek Stanky, Jason Westfall, and everyone else who played a role in this. And I think, judging by the track record from the other side of town, you couldn't start off with a better coach than Derek Stanky. So congratulations, Derek. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Ron. Next, Waupun Legion Post 210 Commander, Sergeant Bob Petroli.
Good afternoon there, coaches, players, mayor, and fellow speakers. I want to welcome you here to the Meadema Field and to a ball game. We are putting Waupun on the map as far as baseball is concerned. So this will be wrote down as the first one, and it'll be coming for years to come. Now I want to talk to the girls a little bit. Now winning ain't everything, but it's nice. And we are anticipating, a few wins, because I have a couple of my Legionnaires, as we're standing here, are building a podium for our trophies that come into our hall. And I want a good team. Like I said, winning ain't everything. But respect for the coaches, respect for your fellow players, and respect for your fellow teams that come in here. This is the main thing that we want to emphasize, that we got good sportsmanship. And yes, we'd like to win, but, winning ain't everything. There's no I in a team. It takes a team to win. It takes a team to help each other. And in coaching one another, what makes a good team. Some days one player will have a good day, next time the next player will have a good day. You and the team are like members, mentors for the girls that are coming up the line. You'll be seeing them sitting out here, they'll be watching you, and they say, boy, someday I'm gonna do that. So you'll be mentoring these teams for the next 15, 20 years. That they come up here to play. So, with that, I want you to play hard. I want you to play safe. But most of all, I want you to have fun. Okay? Thank you all for making us proud to be part of this team, one way or another. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant Petroli. Our next speaker, from the 115th Medical Group, Commander Colonel Jessica Sullivan.
Good afternoon. As the Medical Group Commander, I am in charge of 90 airmen who have two missions. One mission is to provide medical support to the 1,100 airmen of the 115th Fighter Wing in Madison. The second mission is to provide triage and emergency medical care for any state or federal, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, or explosive disaster. Now, some of you may have seen the F-16 fighter jets that flew over the Packer games in past seasons. Those were from my base, the 115th Fighter Wing. Now I want you to be on the lookout because we have F-35s, which are fifth-generation fighter aircraft. To tell you a bit about my military career, I enlisted to follow in my 29-year veteran father's footsteps. travel and have a way to help pay for college. The Air Force has given me the opportunity to see the world as I have traveled all over the U.S., Germany, Nicaragua, and have been deployed to South Korea, Turkey, and Afghanistan. The Air Force has also helped me pay for schooling in my current position as a nurse practitioner for SSM Health. Over the past 31 years, the military has taught me many things. But ladies, today I want to share with you 3 important things with you. Things I believe that will contribute to your success. Number 1, take the opportunities and give back. During my years in the military, I was offered the opportunities to lead 2 humanitarian missions to medically underserved areas in Louisiana and California. In California, the mission was to provide medical care to homeless and displaced veterans. I knew ahead of time that leading these missions would mean a lot more work for me. However, the good you feel being able to help those in need, especially my fellow Americans and veterans, is something that is hard to put into words. But I learned to take the opportunities and give back when you can, because the reward is the greatest. Number 2, be a part of your community and make those connections. I've been involved in various organizations in Waupun to include the Veterans of Foreign Wars and American Legion. I've even worked a few Legion pork chop fundraiser dinners with American Legion Post 210 Commander Bob Petroli and his son, Command Sergeant Major Kirk Petroli, who currently serves in the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Being involved in the community has afforded me the opportunity to meet great people and make connections. One connection is that Command Sergeant Major Petroli and I ended up not only serving pork chops, but in 2020 we served together, both Army and Air National Guard, during the COVID pandemic, supporting the state of Wisconsin. Being a part of your community is important because you give back, you make connections with people, and they positively impact your life. Number 3, never ever give up on your dreams. I know you all have dreams. You will face roadblocks on your journey, and you might even encounter people who will tell you that you can't accomplish your goals. Personally, the roadblocks I've encountered and those people who told me that I can't motivated me even more. Never let someone dictate your dreams, because those are your dreams. Overcome the roadblocks and show the doubters what you can achieve. Now, as a commander, I have a personalized commander's coin, and on my coin in Latin is a phrase that says, never give up, never surrender. An American Legion Post 210 player who embodies this phrase and who I would like to present this coin today is second baseman Carly White. Thank you all for this opportunity to speak with you today, and best of luck to both teams.
Thank you, Colonel Sullivan. Now, your starting lineups. This will be followed by the presentation of colors and the national anthem. So, without any further ado, your starting lineups for Post 91 of Oconomowoc. Leading things off, playing center field, number 12, Lacey Griswold. Batting second and playing shortstop, number 23, Ella Tower. Batting third and playing right field, number 15, Carly Moldenhauer. Batting in the cleanup spot and playing third base, number 22, Mickey Burrow. Batting fifth and playing first base, number 99, Grace Cook. Batting sixth and playing left field, number 22, Jordan Gens. Batting seventh and playing second base, number 6, Rena Rupnow. Batting eighth and pitching, number 4, Kelsey Yamber. And batting ninth and catching, number 21, Bella Damro. Oconomowoc is coached by Sable Burrow and Shear. And your other players, number 20, Ailey Bolson, and number 42, Geneva Erickson. And now, your starting lineup of Post 210 Waupun. Leading off and playing right field, number 9, Ava Vandezen. Batting second and playing shortstop, number 0, Kylie Plime. Batting third and catching, number 2, Kaylee Westfall. Batting the cleanup spot and playing first base, number 12, Lexi Garrettson. Batting fifth, your designated player, number 8, Raz Rivera. She'll be the designated player for the flex. At third base, Kylie Schultz. Batting next, pitching, number 13, Addison Braun. Batting seventh and playing left field, number 5, Olivia Lease. Batting eighth and playing center field, number 7, Rowan Harder. And batting ninth and playing second base, number 28, Carly White. Your coach, Derek Stanky. And your other post 210 players, number 14, Hannah Beatty. Number 15, Aubrey Farley. Number 21, Ryan Babish. Number 23, Jalen Lando. Number 29, Carolyn Cluvey. Number 30, Leah Bualda. And number 33, Amelia Jones. And now, the presentation of the colors by our color guard from post 210. And our national anthem will be sung by Waupun Legion softball assistant coach, Makenya Potras.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Coach Potras.
Great job there with the national anthem by assistant coach Potras here for post 210 softball. That was the national anthem and the color guard for Waupun post 210 as the post 210 is exiting the field. Continue to typically follow with them and stay standing and wait until they have cleared the field. Those are some of the things that I've learned when Caleb played a lot of baseball with post 210 boys. And this is the inaugural game taking place here for Legion Post 210. Just waiting. The color guard has left. I'm not sure what they're waiting for next. Coach is looking up here. So Coach Derek Stanky is the one that's going to be in charge of the Post 210 girls program.
All right. Thank you once again.
So they're going to clear the diamond. We're going to get ready here. So Waupun Post 210 is going to be taking on the Oconomowoc Post 91. Opening pitch is going to be thrown out by Coach Bishop.
Bob Petroli, followed by Colonel Jessica Sullivan. All we ask is don't bounce it.
Trying to play a little mind games with the mayor, seeing if he'll end up tanking this one. I don't expect him to do so. I expect that he is going to do just fine with it, but well, you never know. It is. Jeff reminded me that he is a Cub fan, so that kind of really isn't a negative already for him. And it is only, 45 feet to the mound? 46 feet, so it's not like a baseball. 43 feet. Thank you, Coach Navas. And there's the first pitch in here as we get ready to start the inaugural season of girls softball here in the state of Wisconsin. Had to make sure that I was here to capture this historic moment so that everybody can go back and take a look at it. I mean, it's been broadcast really well here the whole time by all of the coaches and the adults. If you are sitting here watching the game and you know somebody who would like to watch it, Commander Petroli throws out a pitch as well. I wasn't expecting that, so my apologies for talking over him. Here comes the next pitch in. And it makes it here. And again, congratulations to the city of Waupun and the city of Oconomowoc and the other 28 teams out there that were making sure that those
And everyone was on the inside corner.
that this game of softball will now translate to the Legion level, which is going to be rather interesting as things continue to move on. It'll be dependent upon how much recognition is going to come out of here, because there's a lot of girls who previously would usually be out there to would be playing with other teams like the Eclipse, and there would be other teams that were taking place. Horicon would have a team, and I know that there were several other teams in the area, especially in the Milwaukee area. So we'll see how this is going to end up panning out, but to start out the year to have 30 teams, I think that's pretty good.
Are the umpire associates of Armga and Armga. It'll be the sheriff, Randy, behind the dish.
Randy Armga will be behind the plate. I did see Steve Winterhack out there earlier, one of the broadcasting personnel that we spend a lot of time with for boys basketball, girls basketball, volleyball, football, and baseball and softball. So we'll see how things are going to turn out here. I'm glad that we're going to actually be able to bring this. It's a doubleheader today, so stick with us. I'm not sure if I'm going to end up transferring to a new link or not yet. I was scrambling to get things set up as it was. I was physical therapy day today for me at 3 o'clock, so after getting the stuffing beat out of me over there, doing exercises that I know I'm supposed to be doing at home, and I am doing them at home, PT Katie and PTA Linda. I've been doing all of the exercises religiously. On the mound for the Warriors is going to be Roz Rivera starting things out. She'll be the pitcher.
Once again, leading things off in the Oconomowoc half of the first. Number 12, center fielder Lacey Griswold. Tower on deck.
So some players are playing. I got to see if I can get this right. Lexi Garrettson is over at first. Kylie Schultz is over at second. Oh, is that third? Okay, who's at second?
That's Carly White.
Carly White is at second. Plime is at short. Harder is out in center. Olivia Lease is in left, and in right is going to be Ava Vandezan. So very similar positions. What's going on here? That should never, ever happen. Why did that do that? As we get ready today for this contest, here comes the first pitch in the inaugural game, and it's a strike fouled off to the right-hand side. As up to bat is Lacey Griswold.
5:06 p.m.
5:06 p.m. Temperature I have is 72 degrees on my computer here. I don't know what the direction of the wind. Look at the flag. Kind of coming out of the northeast, I believe. It looks like it can't be very strong. The flag is
71 degrees, winds out of the northeast at 12.
12 miles an hour out of the northeast. I had the direction correct. I was going to guess about 5 miles an hour, but looking forward to a great game here. Now, the big difference here is I do not have advertisements that I'll run, and I have to either put on my Chromebook and see if my Chromebook has some of the YouTube music that I can play, because typically YouTube does not like having Hit on the ground over to the shortstop, picked up cleanly, fired, and across the diamond to get the first out. Kylie Plime fired it over to Lexi Garrettson for the first out. I got to fix that instant replay, so stick with me while I try and fix that right away because I didn't change that over. So I'll try and get it fixed as soon as possible here. Just bear with me, folks. Pitch in there by Roz Rivera. Oh, I thought the scoreboard was going to be working. I guess it's not. Center field camera was working. It still is working. That's good. I got to get the scoreboard up there. Here's the pitch. A little bit high for a ball. Ella Tower is the batter here for Oconomowoc, post 91. They are, she's the shortstop. Hit over to the short. Plime picks it up, fires it across, and a good stretch there. Sorry about missing that play. Lexi Garrettson all the way across. Nice job there for the second out. 2 plays to the shortstop and 2 stretches by Garrettson to get the out. Roz Rivera. Jeff, I'll turn you on a little bit here. Are you hearing me?
Oh, yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm
okay.
Just keeping the mic away from
Yep, gotcha. Yep, no, you're good. Thanks.
Okay.
I got you
yeah.
up now a little bit. I didn't have you there before. Okay?
Yeah.
So Jeff is here Jeff Taves, the announcer down here, helps me out with some of the broadcasts right down the middle.
That one's a little low.
Yeah, I'm not going to question Randy. He's been our rules specialist for both baseball and softball, and he's been pretty solid all the way through every time that I've ever watched him. Hit to the right to first base, foul.
Yep.
Hit off of the inside bag for a foul ball. 2-1 is the count. Again, our scoreboard is not functioning, which had started to be an issue early towards the end of the season. A little bit low, 3-1.
And I'm sure they got somebody on it. I don't see Mr. Westfall in his usual seat over here in the home plate, third base side of home. So I'm sure he's checking out the fuse boxes right now.
So I don't know if they're trying to use Game Changer. That certainly would be awesome. That's going to be hit to the third baseman, turns and fires, and not in time. And beating it out for an infield hit. It's going to be Carly Moldenhauer. For the first base runner for Oconomowoc, post 91. Mickey Burrow coming up to bat, number 22. She's the third baseman.
Yeah, so Carly Moldenhauer with the first Women's Legion softball base hit of the...
There's your trivia question.
There you go.
Taken off for a stolen base. Good fire. Oh, just off of the glove. Good throw coming down.
Good job getting it off by Westfall. Just the only thing is she pops straight up. She usually gets a little more oomph on it by, coming out and towards home plate. That's why I think the ball kind of took off on her a little bit.
That's going to be high. Hit out to left field, going back at the fence and missing it. Coming back in and scoring the first run is going to be Oconomowoc on a stand-up double for Burrow.
Double to deep left, brings in a run.
Kind of misplayed there by
number 99
Rowan Hart. Oh, no, now Olivia Lease. As it kept carrying a little bit, and she didn't quite have it judged correctly, and it ends up going over her head, but it did stay in the park.
That was a good poke because here we got winds from the northeast at 12, so it's coming in towards home plate right to left. So that wind held it up, and I think that's what kind of surprised Olivia a little bit.
Yeah, it was hit pretty hard. Beautiful diamond here at Jerry Miedemann Field, so I'm glad that you're able to join us in the broadcast. Down low. See if I can pick up the count from Mr. Armga. Fouled off.
Should get your count now. He's usually pretty good about every other pitch.
Yep, usually. Especially when he knows 1 and 2 is the count.
Mm-hmm.
To Grace. Don't got the last name.
Grace
Cook.
Cook.
Thank you.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Fouls that one off. Keeps the count at 1 and 2. Two down here for Oconomowoc post 91, but they've drawn first blood and putting a run across. High.
Nice job climbing the ladder there for Roz Rivera, hoping Cook would chase, but Cook disciplined at the plate, not swinging. 2-2 here. Deuces are wild. 2-2. 2 outs, 2-2 count.
Hit on the ground over to the third baseman. He's going to pick it up, fire across the diamond, and is going to get the out.
Cook grounds out the third to end.
One run on two hits,
one run comes across on
no
two hits.
errors,
There's
and one left
and
on.
At the end of one half inning.
And after a half inning, Oconomowoc post 91 with a 1-0 lead, as post 210 will be coming up to bat here in the bottom of the first inning. We'll be back. You're listening to Jeff Sauer here on Jeff's live stream.
If you have to be. Swings and misses at a fastball in the inside corner. Count is now 2-1.
Sorry I had your microphone off, Jeff.
That's all right. I can talk.
Yes, you can. No debate about that.
No. All right. And this one in the dirt inside, it's 3-1. As Kelsey Yamber here, pitcher for post 91 on the mound. Looking for a good one to tag here. Van de Zan usually pretty good about line drives, especially a little Oppo taco here. I'm looking forward to a line drive to right center. This one just foul up the third base side.
Nice job there fielding it there by the third baseman.
And that would one that I think if it was fair, that would have been a close play at first. Van de Zan,
good speed.
Good speed. She stole quite a few bases this spring for the Warriors.
Well, that's one of the strengths that the Warriors team have, both boys and girls.
And she looks at a base on balls. Van de Zan leads things off with the base on balls. Brings up shortstop, number 0, Kylie Climb. Westfall on deck. Used to seeing Kylie Plime in their number 55, but I was informed by the players the number choices were 0 to 40, so there's a few of them that had to choose different numbers. And here's your first one, as we have a pass ball and Van de Zan reaches second base.
Good job there by Plime to lay off that first pitch. I think she probably would have been taking anyways just to allow potentially for
Right.
Van de Zan to get over to second.
Another one in the dirt by Yomber.
Good job there by the catcher for post 91 to make that stop. Is that Moldenhauer?
No, Damro, Bella Damro.
Damro at the bottom.
Yeah,
Sorry there.
That's okay.
For everybody out there watching, we're trying to get things rolling here. We just shifted from sectionals yesterday for the boys baseball team. Took one on the chin against the number 5 rated team, who then lost to the number 1 ranked team in Denmark. They're heading back to state for their 3rd year in a row. Boys lost to Chilton, who's the number 5 ranked
Another
team.
one in the dirt.
Good stop there by Damro.
On the base on balls, brings up the catcher.
Both
2,
runners for
Kaylee
Waupun Post
Westfall.
210 have been on
Garrettson
base
deck.
by the walk.
Waupun in a good situation, nobody out. First 2 runners on base, and probably just like in baseball and also in softball, walks are going to kill you.
I believe Westfall was the leadoff hitter, correct? For
Yes.
So at the sectional game when they were playing against Freedom at the high school level, one pitch sends it out of here, and I thought we are going to be having a good game. And then that was it. That pitcher just took over.
Like the saying goes, probably woke up the sleeping giant, so to speak, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
Van Loo, the sophomore from Freedom, did a fantastic job. 15 strikeouts. 0-2 is the count here to Westfall. Here comes the pitch.
surprised Westfall's got good speed. I was surprised probably she wasn't going to.
Hit over to the right
nice
side.
job going opposite field. And it looks like Ava Van de Zan coming around to tie things up. And Plime will advance on the throw.
Van de Zan comes around and scores the first run for post 210. And the first base hit is going to go to Kaylee Westfall, who advances on the throw over to second. Plime on her horse right off the bat gets all the way over to third base. Good job of hitting there.
Yeah, a great inside-out swing from Westfall. In on her hands, and she was still able to push it to between first and second baseman out there, out in right field.
Kind of surprised that Plime didn't score on that wild pitch that was just here.
That's why I think they're having the conversation.
Yep,
Stanky.
right.
Yeah, right. So I think the thing is, too, girls got to get used to Coach Stanky, too, a little bit.
I mean, there's situations where he just expects you to know. At least that's from the baseball section. Guys back in. That time she was a little more aggressive.
So
And
there you go. The conversation worked a
Yep.
little bit. Yeah, it had a little bit more of a walking lead at the beginning of the pitch.
a lot of these girls just got to learn to trust their own instincts, too. Knocked down in front for a ball.
Well, another thing is, too, is we have no outs.
3-0.
You got Lexi Garrettson
Yep.
up. She's a good stick. So the thing is you don't want to end up making it out, you know.
Especially at home. You don't want to make your first out at home.
And
Here comes the pitch. Down in the dirt, and bases are going to be loaded as Lexi Garrettson gets on the base on balls.
Designated player, number 8.
Plime over at third. Westfall over at second. Garrettson at first. Base hit for Westfall, who advanced on the throw. Coach is going to come out and have a conversation.
I was going to say, too bad we didn't have any sponsors here.
I know. We're going to continue to start working on some of
Yeah.
that. I don't know how yet I'm going to run this. I've been playing with doing a pay-per-view, and I'm not really sold on that right now because I really don't want to have to do that. But there's a lot of expenses that I have in doing these types of things, so it's kind of difficult.
What's that? Okay, gotcha.
Oh, he wanted to record the conference there. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to do that. Caleb told me, well, just put your Venmo address out there and see if people will just donate via Venmo, and that's a possibility as well. Or to go run around and get sponsors, but I'm afraid if I go out and get sponsors, I'm going to take away from the Baseball Legion and the Softball Legion, the two post 210s, as they rely heavily on sponsors to get these teams to get to their respective state tournaments.
Oh, at the same time, though, you want to, your broadcasting these games on your YouTube channel and things in order to keep doing that. It'd be nice, maybe, throw a little your way too.
Yeah.
But
Just got to break even somewhere here. That's what the wife says. If you're really thinking about retiring, you better come up with some additional income. Rivera goes down
Rivera strikes
swinging
out for out number 1.
for the first out.
Brings up number 13, Eddie Braun. Leafs on deck.
Number 13, Addie Braun coming up to bat. That pitch is in there for a strike. Coach's conference must have done a good job there. Is Kelsey Yamber?
Correct, yeah, Amber.
Hit on the ground. Third baseman steps, gets the force out there, but Waupun scores another run.
Braun grounds into the fielder's choice for out number 2. Run scores.
Fielder's choice there with the third baseman unassisted to erase Westfall.
Brings up
Garrettson
left
moves
fielder
up
number
to
5,
second.
Olivia Elise.
2 outs.
And we have a courtesy runner for the pitcher, number 29.
Yeah, I'm going to have to rely on you. I don't have that roster. Number 29.
Caroline Kluge.
Caroline Kluge coming in as the pinch runner. Courtesy runner? Which is it?
Courtesy runner because
Courtesy.
Addie Braun is in the books as the pitcher, even though Raz Rivera is pitching. But there's some rule in Legion softball where your designated player can be your pitcher. And then the thing is then it doesn't ruin your flex situation.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just the crib notes I got from Josh.
Nice change up there by Yamber to get Lease way out in front.
Amber, speaking of which, kind of slow in her delivery down, a little more deliberate now, so the ball is coming up a little bit more and a little bit more velocity on it, a little more control, and just as I say that, she one-hops the catcher. But
Yeah, I think the coach's comment probably was the same thing. Just shoot strikes. Don't worry about trying to get the strikeouts. Trust your defense. Right on the outside edge. Goes down looking for the third out.
Lee strikes out to end the Waupun half of the first inning.
So
But
2
not
runs
before 2 runs come across.
on 1 hit.
On 1 hit, there's 2 left.
No
And
errors
one
and 2
complete.
left on.
Post 210, 2 in post 91, 1.
2-1, the Waupun Warriors post 210 over post 91 from Oconomowoc. You're listening to Jeff Sauer here on Jeff's live stream. Stick with us. Jesus. Welcome back here to Jerry Miedema Fields. Waupun Legion softball post 210, initial game of the season. Starting here, great opening ceremony that we had. The Legion program does a fantastic job of. At least they've supported the boys super well. I can't imagine they're not going to do the same thing for the ladies.
Yeah.
Popped up into the air.
A
Little flare for a base hit.
Gans leads off the second inning with a base hit to center field. Brings up second
Gets a base hit
baseman,
right off the
number
bat.
6, Reina Rupnow. Yumber on deck.
Brings up the second baseman, number 6, Reina Rope now. Bunt
Nice
laid
bunt.
down.
And
Picked
Schultz
up.
not able to pick it up.
Schultz unable to get a hold of it.
Rupp now safe on the sack bunt.
Infield
Brings
single.
up the pitcher number 4, Kelsey Yumber. Jammer on deck.
I don't know, Jeff. Would she have been able to, if she would have picked that up, would she have thrown her out
I think
cleanly?
I think it would have been a close play if she picks up.
So is that an error?
It
was gotta be, right?
It's got to be an error. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an error on the third baseman for Waupun. That's going to be Kylie Schultz.
Correct.
Runners at first and second now for Oconomowoc. One and one is the count to Yamber, the pitcher. For Oconomowoc, was able to get things settled down after giving up a couple of walks. A little bit high there from Raz Rivera. 2-1. Setting that Warriors defense once again. You've got Schultz over at third base, Plime at short. Over at second is White. Inside pitch. Good job there by Raz Rivera to get it right on that inside edge.
I think a nice job, too, framing by Kaylee Westfall,
Yeah.
too. She snapped that glove in and popped up right away. So, but
And over at first is Lexi Garrettson.
Scouting report on the sheriff down there. Like I know when my boys played, they always knew that Randy was very generous on the corners, not necessarily up and down, but in and out. He was usually pretty generous. So it was nice. Like I had my oldest son was a catcher and the youngest one was a pitcher. So they kind of knew that right out of the gate.
Yeah, well, the goal is obviously let's hit the ball. We're not
Yeah,
here to.
it's true. But I'm just saying.
Yep, no, I agree with you.
You know.
You're right. Everybody starts to figure out, Kent Vandekoek was always quite a bit of an official for us as well, and the
Yep.
boys knew when they had Kent that it was going to be a low strike zone. So you better be swinging at anything that's even a couple of inches below the knees. Good pitch there on the inside edge. Gets the strikeout for Raz Rivera. Brings up the first out.
21, Bella Dembro. Great
Looking.
ball on deck.
That's her first strikeout of the game, I believe.
Yeah, first one. And
I didn't have how the first inning ended because I was too worried about.
Ground out to third was the last time. That was last out before. Nice little bunt. This one's going to go foul. Nice job by Westfall popping out of the box on that one.
Bella Damro, the hitter, number 21 for post 91.
Yeah, we got to remember now it's Legion season now, and so you got to use posts and I don't know what team names and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
sometimes they have them, right? Like the post 210 boys are the Wild Turkeys.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what
Well,
Coach Thankey was going to do. Turkeyettes
No, this is
or the hens.
No, this is what I proposed to him. I said, the Legionnaires are usually guys that we have the VFW, two Veterans of Foreign Wars, one of the strong women.
Auxiliary.
We got the women's auxiliary up as we get a little flare that just
Base hit.
goes fair, and they're going to hold the runner at third.
Good job there. Piece of hitting, taking the ball to the outside and drilling it over to the right field, right on the line.
Top of the lineup, number 12, center fielder Lacey Griswold at tower on deck. But anyway, the thing is one of the most famous women, posters that show the power of women is Rosie the Riveter.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, we got our colors out here, black with red. And I'm thinking, back in the professional women's days, you had the peaches and names like that. Why don't you just call them the roses?
Maybe.
I don't know. I threw that at him. We'll see what he runs with. I'm sure they're creative and so forth. But like say the Wild Turkeys had kind of more of a dedication to Coach DeBoer. And
Right,
his love
exactly.
for hunting.
Right.
So and it also was actually a team name of a minor league team. This one's going to make the gap.
Hit deep in between, out in right center. 2 runs score. And they got her picked off over at first base. Gets the out before the next run scores. And that'll be the third out.
Griswold with a single to right, drives in 3.
Oh, I guess not. I thought it was the third out. My fault. Has a single and then get tagged out running across.
Brings up shortstop number 23.
3 runs scorer. wasn't paying attention there. So a good job, piece of running there by Oconomowoc.
Yeah, Griswold did a good job of just getting that run down long enough to get that third run to cross the plate. By the time Garrettson turned around, it was too late.
3 unassisted on the rundown.
Yeah, good job on Lexi's part, chasing her towards the second so that we can get the run now because there's nobody at first yet. White was over there to cover eventually.
Yeah, I may have to probably generate one of my own CGI scoreboard, which really I'm not interested in doing because I have enough things to keep track of already up here.
Well, your score is 4-2 right now.
Yep, and we'll just keep announcing it, and then maybe I can just quickly add it at the top, just a little bit high into Tower. 2-1 is the count. Again, you can always hear Randy usually, but with the wind blowing in, it certainly is helping as well. Plus, he gives the signs almost every single time. So,
yeah, something I've always learned, like back when I used to officiate basketball. Randy was always good with his mechanics, and also Randy was another one of those officials. Like when we do our rules interpretation meeting, we always usually met at his house and go through the rule book and so forth. So I appreciate that from the years past.
Here's the pitch by Rivera. Swing over to the top, foul. Full count to Ella Tower, who grounded out to the shortstop the first time up in the first inning. Already getting a chance to bat around. That's going to be hit hard out to left field again. Lease tries to get there and misses it. Or Lease, I'm sorry. That is Lease. I'm usually seeing her at right. So it's a base hit for Tower.
Tower with the double to left. Brings up
gets
right
a double.
Number 15, Carly Moldenhauer. Burrow on deck.
I have 4 hits so far for Oconomowoc, post 91 earned so far in this inning.
I have 5 hits right now.
5 hits. Where did I miss one?
Oh, the last one.
That's one she got caught in the rundown. So it was
that's
a single.
Right? Yep.
5 hits.
And the thing is, Roz is doing her job of, having the girls hit it and play.
Yeah.
Just had a couple. You had that one error on the sacrifice,
Yep.
and then this one kind of misjudged out there left field by Lease.
Here's the pitch down the middle, swinging to Moldenhauer, strike one. Rivera's going after him, just like you said, doing her job.
Yep. And then, but I'm not. The thing is Waupun's offense. They can get back into this one pretty easily.
Well, you'd like to see the opening game here of the season for. Ooh, good throwdown. Almost caught her walking back in. Tower
and
for Oconomowoc.
Right, and even though she was safe over there at Tower, I mean, just that
it sends the message.
It sends a message.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You better be on guard. Here comes the pitch. Popped up into the air. That should get over here to the second baseman. Makes the call and gets the third out.
Up to the second baseman to end the Oconomowoc half.
Fly to the fourth position.
3 runs.
As that was Carly White getting underneath it. 5 hits.
1 error and 2 left. And at the end of 1.5, your score, Oconomowoc 4, Waupun 2.
So 3 runs scored on 5 hits. 1 error. And 1 left on. 2 left on.
1, you were right.
1 left on. Yep. It was 4 hits because we have that error down for.
Right, that's what I had. That's what I was getting at.
Yep. Well, when I asked you before, you told me 5.
Well,
Jeff, now come on. If you're not going to give me some good, accurate information, I'm not going to argue about this right here.
Team total.
Wow. Welcome back to Jerry Miedema Field First pitch coming in here by the pitcher for post 91, Kelsey Yamber, is a strike to the Warriors' number 7, Rowan Harder, playing center field. Ooh, that one, rise ball. Rose right out of the strike zone. 1-1 is the count. Comes the next pitch by Yamber. That's a little bit low. 2-1.
And if you notice, Yamber is kind of rushing her delivery once again, hence
Yeah.
the balls, errant pitches.
Not focusing quite enough on just get the ball over the plate and, again, trust your defense. Rivera tried to do that and let her down. That's going to be hit up the ground,
nice
and nice job of scooping it up and firing it over to first to get the first out.
Harder grounds out for
On
out
the
number
1-3
1.
put out.
Brings up
for the
second
first
baseman, number
out.
28, Carly White.
Good clean
Van de Zandt
fielding
on
there
deck.
from the pitching. Snapped that up and fired it over to first in a hurry.
Yeah, maybe that ground ball later in the game that might not be cleanly scooped up because
Right.
usually there's a nice divot by the mound,
Yep.
towards the end. But that one, one of those, as you would say in hockey, a glove save and a beauty.
Yeah. It was. She got really down low on it and
Yeah.
picked it up and fired it quickly. She wasn't messing around.
Yeah.
Here's the next pitch.
So
Down
she-
low, 2-0.
So she's a hockey goalie. She's strong to her glove side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great stop.
Yeah.
She just didn't get into a decent butterfly.
No. Maybe she's not a butterfly goalie though.
Stand-up goalie.
Stand-up goalie. Yeah.
3-0 is now the count to Carly White.
And Carly White's another one that you get her on base. She's got some wheels.
Yeah, you want to see that in your 9 spot. We talked about that again for both the girls softball team and for the boys baseball team. That 9 spot is critical. Getting a runner on, getting the first walk.
White reaches on the base on
Take that
balls.
back. The first walk of
Brings
this
up
inning
Top of the lineup, right
Carly
field,
White.
number 9, Ava Van de Zandt.
with a
Fly
base
deck.
on balls. Brings up the top of the order, Ava Van de Zandt.
Last time up, Ava reached on a base on balls, was able to reach second on a pass ball, then scored on the base hit from
Westfall, I believe it was. Yeah.
Westfall and back in the first. She was the first of 2 runs that inning.
Score here is 4-2 at Jerry Minima Field. That rise ball is going to get away. That's going to allow White to get down to second. Good job there by the catcher. Good hustle by Damrow, the catcher for Oconomowoc, post 91.
Got a nice clean hop off the backstop.
Came firing right back at her.
Yeah, one hopped it, turned around and fired.
1-1, I think, is the count. We'll see. The sheriff will give it to us here. 2-1.
There it is.
Yep.
Plus we got Justin Schmidt behind us doing game changer.
He's trying to make sure everything is working now, and he's got it all taken care of. Inside. Second strike, 2-2 to Van de Zandt.
We'll have to ask Justin maybe between innings, like if the people want to follow along on game changer, how they can.
Yeah, how they
get on
can
there.
do that.
Yeah.
Down in the dirt, full count now for Van de Zandt.
Maybe he's just got post 210 softball or something. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, see what it's listed under. I know that I think it's listed for the boys as Waupun post 210. Hit on the ground, foul, staying alive. Is Van de Zandt. Van de Zandt no longer considered to be a freshman, right?
Nope,
She's a
yeah,
sophomore.
she's a
Finished up her
sophomore now.
freshman
Yeah,
year.
Finished up her freshman year. Like I say, I always look forward to interviews from Steve Winterhack to Ava Van de Zandt after games. She gets nervous, but she improved over the course of the year.
Yeah, well, that's something. Tagged out
Van
on
de
that
Zandt
dropped
strikes out for
strike.
Number 2.
Second
Brings
out
up
here in the inning,
shortstop,
4-2.
number 0, Kylie Blime, Westfall on deck.
Carly White stuck over at second base. Kind of surprised again that they didn't at least bunt that one over to get her in there and entrust the speed of Van de Zandt to get down the line. But again, I think this is something that Coach think he's going to learn all about these different situations. Softball is a little bit different than what you do for baseball, especially the small ball game.
But yeah, he does have a little. He's got a daughter named
Yep.
Tenley, and he coached her tournament team in the past, so he's not totally unfamiliar with softball.
No, I just,
Yeah.
again, it's
Right, but now it's just like I say, get the feel of
Yep.
Some new girls to coach.
Here's the pitch inside for a ball, 2-1 to Plime, who came around and scored also in the first inning.
Yeah, after reaching on the base on balls. So it'd be nice, like I say, just get runners on base again, even though there's 2 outs. Because the story of the spring season was a lot of runs after 2 outs.
Right. Yeah, and that's really strange, but both teams, the boys and the girls team for baseball and for softball, you almost wanted to say, let's start with 2 outs. Just pick any 2 players and give them the 2 outs, and then we'll start from there. Because it seemed that they did much better in hitting in that situation. Almost chasing after it. That was a really good pitch there.
I was
By-
looking at Plime. She saw the ball go by, and then she took a look at Armga there, kind of like, please don't.
Yeah,
call it
right.
strike.
I mean, that was a great pitch there by Yamber. Just so that rise ball
Yeah.
continued to rise right out of the zone. On the outside edge and gets the swinging strikeout
Strikes out
for
in
the third out.
of the second inning.
No runs
They get
on
no runs on no hits,
no
they
hits,
leave one, and
no
again,
errors,
two
and
complete.
1
Your
left
score
on.
remains
After 2
4-2,
complete here
folks.
from Jeremy
91.
Field, post 210 of the Warrior, of the, well, I don't know what to call them, of Waupun.
Close to 10.
And Oconomowoc post 91-4. We'll be back for the top of the third. You're listening to Jeff Sauer here on Jeff's live stream. Okay. Well, you wanted to. Here, you can tell me. How you got it. Oh, yes, here you go.
Also another option out there, folks, if you could get on Game Changer.
Okay,
just
Game
check out
Changer, search
Waupun
Waupun, post 210, and then choose softball. Okay. Got it. There you go.
All you have to do is join the team by being a
Yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't ever used Game Changer before. It's strange to me that they haven't used it. For the last 4 years that I've done softball, they never had it. Yeah, I know that. Me too. Right. Kind of. Yeah.
Leading things off in the Oconomowoc half of the third baseman, number 22.
Well, welcome back here. As I know I had my mic open. Sorry about that being hot mic, but let's just make sure we got things taken care of here. So Coach Justice Smith sitting up here tells us that to find this on Game Changer, all you need to do is go to the Game Changer app. There's a nice base hit to left center, all the way to the fence. That'll be a double. Coming in, maybe the tag. Safe. Didn't get it quite there in time. Didn't get it quite into the front, and a good leadoff hit for Oconomowoc post 91. Let's go back and finish up that Game Changer thought here. So go to the Game Changer app, gc.com if I remember correctly, and then just search Waupun post 210, and then you're going to have the option to choose baseball or softball. And right now you want softball. Cook with a swing and strike for this first strike to her by Rivera, and then just choose softball, and you'll be able to follow along as a fan. So anytime that the team is playing, you'll get a notification of a roster schedule change that's been done. So it'll come up usually the day before. Nice pitch there by Rivera. 0-2 ahead in Cook. And then you can just follow along with what's happening. Now, there's 2 things I'm going to give the caveat, just like everything else when we have technology. 1, internet has to be working for them to use the iPad here. Swing and strike. Good job there on that rise ball for the first out here in this inning.
Out for out number 1. Brings up left fielder number 22.
And 2, you have to have somebody entering the information. If the information's not entered, Game Changer doesn't help you much. But again, I was just mentioning before that this is a softball thing, first new to softball from what I have seen, at least in the teams that I have followed and called for. But for baseball, we've had it for years, and there's no other way that I would love to call a game, because the rosters are all right in front of you, and you get immediate feedback, and you get stats that you can share out. So as a broadcaster, I love the fact that I can tell you how many first pitch strikes Raz Rivera has thrown so far in the game, which, again, it's getting ahead of the hitters, so it tells a little bit of the story. That's going to be hit on the ground over to the third baseman, foul. As that was Schultz. Kylie Schultz knocking it down in foul territory. Don't know what the count is here to Gens. Here's the next one, right down the middle for a strike. Gets away from the catcher. She's going to take off, throw down. Oh, and it hit her, I hope, in the shoulder. Yeah, well, she had a face mask on anyways. Maybe off the side of the helmet. So Austin Armstrong going over to check out and make sure.
Yeah. And then the coach saying how many fingers are holding up. Of course, each hand has a different number.
Yeah. 2-2 is the count to Gens.
I was going to say, I think the last thing that Oconomowoc coach needs is make your barrel going down. She's got 2 doubles already.
Yeah. High. 3-2 to Gens with the runner advancing. Again on the wild pitch.
What I was
Over to
wondering
third.
is what number Justin Schmidt put in for Gens, because he had 2.
Yeah, you're right. You did have.
And this little looper
Right
liner.
over the top of the shortstop for an RBI. And Oconomowoc scores again on the base hit.
Hit of the ball game, drives in a
Second
run.
ball base
Brings up
hit.
Second baseman, shortstop, Raina Rupnow.
Rupnow coming up to bat. Continuing to go through the lineup. The second time up for everybody now after Gens was up. She was her second time through. That's going to be hit into the air over in left field. Gets underneath it is Lease for the out.
Rupnow
Second
slides
out.
to left for out number 2. Brings
First
up
time
the
that she's
pitcher,
been
number
put out
4,
in the game.
Kelsey Yamber. Dammer on deck.
Brings up the pitcher who's got to like what she's seeing so far. Yamber.
Yeah, it's some nice run support in all 3 innings.
High from Raz Rivera on the pitch. 1-0.
I was going to make the comment that Olivia Lease could have called fair catch on that one. That was one of those that almost brought down rain. It was that high.
Yeah, good thing she was able to get underneath it. She struggled a little bit out there, I would have to say. 2-0 is the count.
Oh, that one fly ball, I think the wind definitely played a part of that.
Yeah,
one.
knocked
it down.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's kind of like football. You get the punt return and the ball it's up there, and then also just dies and falls like 5 yards in front of you.
Yeah. Should probably use that third base camera since I set it up. I have found out that it's been more comfortable with just the center field and home base. 2-1 is the count. It's an interesting time for Coach Navas to come out and have a conversation with Raz Rivera.
I think too. There's 2 outs, and just seeing how Raz is feeling. Maybe he saw something or something that's a little different in her delivery or something along that lines. But probably just also making sure that everyone's on the same page. You can notice he's talking to every single one. Of course, majority of the conversation to Raz.
Yeah.
One thing I like about softball, I don't have to keep track of pitch count.
That is true. So I wonder if they're making a switch here.
It could be bringing in Addie Braun into pitch. Who knows? Probably seeing how Raz is feeling, and that's what it looks like it's going to happen here. Yep.
All right. So Addie Braun's going to come in and pitch, the ace for the regular season for the Waupun Warriors. And we're going to step aside. We'll be back here in about 90 seconds as Addie Braun gets warmed up. You're listening to Jeff Sauer and Jeff Taves here on Jeff's live stream. But that's going to screw up all your pitching stats. Unless Game Changer knows enough and designates a softball game between a baseball game, which I would think that it would. Yeah. Strikeout looking to Yamber. It's a good change there coming from Coach Josh Novice to come in and get the out. Strikeout looking. One run.
Your score, Oconomowoc 5.
On one hit, 2 hits, 1 left on, and no errors. 5-2 is your score here after 2.5. Coming up to bat is going to be post 210 from Waupun. You're listening to Jeff Sauer here on Jeff's live stream. Welcome back here to Jerry Minima Field. Opening game of the Wisconsin Girls Legion season. 2 divisions, if I remember correctly, Jeff. I think there's a Division 1 and a Division 2, but their age is still 19U across the board. Okay. But you have to be at least 13, I believe, to participate. Strike. Coming in there from Yamber as she's getting it to Westfall, 1-1.
And I guess according to the opening ceremonies, Derek Stanky said this is the first Legion softball game in the state of Wisconsin.
Yes. We couldn't really have many more yet because of state tournament is still taking place, and I don't know how many where these teams are all located from. I know that we've seen the schedule for Waupun post 210 who they're going to be playing, but there's obviously got to be some teams spread out throughout the state.
Now, how many teams did you say? 30?
30, I think it was, that I heard him announce.
Mm-hmm. And then the state tournament at end of July.
In DeForest.
DeForest, yeah.
Regionals have not been determined yet where there was going to take place. So I do know last time I had a conversation as well, and I think it was with Randy Armga, is that Waupun kept fluctuating back and forth between Division 1 and Division 2 depending upon which teams were in and where they were getting players from. And we kind of actually had a conversation about that as well, of whether they were going to draw from Rosendale or if they were going to draw from Laconia or Oakfield or Randolph, which then when you add players obviously from those schools, that's you're going to take their student enrollment.
Correct. Ooh.
Looked like a good pitch in there to Garrettson, called a ball. Not sure exactly where it might have been. It might have been a little high.
I'm thinking a little low.
Or
Yeah,
low.
Garrettson's not she's tall in stature up there, so probably one of those that's probably right below the knees, so wasn't called.
First baseman for the post 210, Waupun. That's in there for a strike this time. Looked like very similar location. Raised it up just a little bit. Here comes the pitch. That's going to hop away from the catcher. Standing up was already taken off, and stealing was Westfall. Good job there blocking it by Damrow. The putt ball staying out front. Here's the pitch to Garrettson. Fouled off.
I think if you ask Alexia, she'd want that one back.
Oh, yeah.
That was, just above the knees, and that's one that she likes to drive to the opposite field, right about right center out there. It's quite a nice gap out there for her.
Here comes the pitch from Yamber. Inside. Full count now to Garrettson. Nobody out. Runner over at second base for post 210. Trailing here 5-2. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off again there by Garrettson. Yammer doing a good job of keeping it in the low part of the zone. Not elevating anything there for Garrettson to get a hold of. Inside. Fired by shortstop. Fires it across the diamond and gets the out.
Grounds out to the shortstop.
Westfall
Number
advances
1.
over to third for the
Brings
first
up
out.
Designated player
6-3
number 8,
on the putout.
Raz Rivera.
Good play there by
Run
the
on deck.
shortstop. Kind of got mixed up there with pushing of the buttons. So let's see if, yep, Coach Stinky's there in the frame over on third base side with Callie Westfall. Pitch in there for a ball to Raz Rivera. Again, it was very interesting. Starts out as the pitcher, but as the designated player, she's hitting for Kaylee Schultz. It's going to be popped foul out of play. Good job with a tree there to knock it down from hitting a vehicle.
So basically, you could put her in and, designated hitter, I guess. I don't know. But the thing is, like you said, she pitched the first 2 2/3 innings.
Yeah, I don't know how that would be all handled with Game Changer, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
right, with Game Changer. I don't feel, I don't, I'm glad I'm not doing Justin's job right now.
Maybe this is why they didn't use Game Changer.
Could be. But I guess there's some type of women's Legion softball rules.
Yeah.
That they said that, like, even though she's a designated player, she can pitch, but that's the only place she can go.
Holds up on that one. She's looking back, wondering if I snap my wrists or not. It is called a ball.
And I think the thing is,
2 and 2 is the count.
Catchers appealed that one. Austin's over there in the shortstop.
Yeah,
position.
he's not
He
going to
didn't see it.
override. Yep.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And she did she did hold up. I didn't
believe
see
so,
that
yeah.
go. Inside, good job there, knocking it down. Again is Damro. Full count to Rivera with only one down. Runner over at third base is Kaylee Westfall. Here comes the pitch from Yamber. Down low, and Raz Rivera is going to get the walk.
Rivera reaches on the base on balls. Brings pitcher number 13, Eddie Braun. Lease on deck.
Yeah, so pitch count is not really an issue in softball, and again, that's a lot of my background is here in baseball. My daughter Cassandra decided she wasn't gonna. We played 2 years of softball, and that was all she wanted. She liked doing the cheers, and that was basically about it. And then she found her niche in dance, and that's where she decided to stay and become a 3-time state qualifier for the dance team, which is again another strong program that Waupun has.
Yeah, Melissa Dirkson's done a good job over there.
Yes, she has building that program. She was started when I was coming in as an AP and an AD, and I'm looking at her like she was pregnant. I think like 2 out of the first 3 years, and I thought, how are you going to coach? Comes out, she knows the heck of what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Braun is up to bat. Coach Stanky gives out the call. It's the first time I could hear it coming from the window here. Swings and misses on that strike.
Addie, I believe, just the way her body was in the bat position, her hand position, she's trying to drive it opposite field.
Yeah. Maybe a hit and run situation, but I didn't see the runner really taking off.
No.
Full count.
Just making sure that she does put it in play.
Right.
Obviously hustles it out so we don't get in a double play and we can get that third run across.
Exactly. That's right. Inside and drawing the walk is Addie Braun. Puts another runner on. Bases are going to be loaded here for Olivia Lease coming up to bat.
Courtesy runner for the pitcher number 14, Hannah Beatty.
I didn't have what Lease did the first time she was up.
Lease, first time up, ended up striking out swinging.
Okay. I thought it was a strikeout. I didn't get the full K there. So coming back in this third inning, trying to redeem herself.
But,
All kinds of Waupun post 210 players on the bases.
And Lise has some power in that bat. I mean, I believe it was she had 2 home runs in one day. I think in one of those doubleheaders. She had 1 in each game.
Lisa's a sophomore, right? Van de Zan is a sophomore, going to be now.
Lisa's a
Ooh.
little older though. I think.
Oh, is
she's
she
going
a
to
junior?
Be I think she, yeah.
Or a senior?
She's going, yeah, senior because she's in the same class
That's right.
with Garrettson and.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes the pitch. Fouls that one off. Behind in the count now, 1-2. Perfect opportunity here for Lise to get an RBI. Bases are full. Only 1 out here for post 210. That's going to go wide, but it ricocheted off. She's going to kind of, oh, good job there. All the runners tried to get up and move, but Westfall
Little hesitancy from Westfall, and that was just enough for her to hustle back. And but credit to the catcher Damro for a good hustle behind the dish.
Yeah, I would say she was probably about 25 feet of that 60 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Strikeout, swinging for the second out.
Number 2 brings up center
Second
fielder
time
number 7,
swinging for a
Rowan
strikeout also for
Harder.
Olivia Lise.
White on deck.
Brings up number 7, Rowan Harder, the center fielder here for post 210. Initial game here in Wisconsin for women's softball at the American Legion level. And I don't recall how many other states. I know Minnesota has it, but I don't remember how many other states. I know that that's kind of the reason why they were trying to push it. That's going to be hit over towards the first baseman who's going to pick it up and
Harder
field
grounds
it.
out to the first baseman
and get
to
the
end
out.
the Waupun
Half of the third. They get
As the Warriors, post 210, it's going to get put out.
Score remains Oconomowoc 5, Waupun
First
2.
baseman unassisted for that third out. No runs. No hits, huh? No runs on no hits, no errors, and 3 left on. With bases loaded. After 3 complete here from Jerry Miedema Field, post 91 from Oconomowoc 5, and post 210 from Waupun 2. We'll be back for the top of the 4th. You're listening to Jeff Sauer and Jeff Taves here on Jeff's live stream. Welcome back to Jerry Miedema Field as we get ready here for the top of the 4th inning. Here in Waupun, you can see that on the signs back there when I flip to the right camera so you can see it. There it is. Post 210 and post 91, the initial 2 teams that are starting out this Women's Legion program here in Wisconsin. A strike in there to number 21, Bella Damro. 2-2 is the count. Swinging for the strikeout. Good job there by Addie Braun.
Strikes out for out number 1. Brings up top of the lineup, number 12, center fielder Lacey Griswold. Tower on deck.
Second strikeout for Addie Braun
Yep.
on the mound here.
Yep, she faced 2, struck out 2.
Fouled off there by Griswold, the leadoff hitter. Was a good hit over there in the single, but he raced over in the second inning. Got caught in the rundown by Lexi Garrettson. Instead of turning fire at home, held on to it and caught her in the middle.
Yeah, but her hit is the difference in the ball game. Drove in 3
Right.
runs on that base hit.
3 RBIs, though, yeah. Here's the next pitch. Little change up there for a ball. 1-1 is the count.
I'm going to have to ask Addie Brown if she's added a knuckleball to her repertoire, because on that strikeout to Damero, I could see the seams on the ball. You know, and
Okay.
it did not move.
I don't know really what she's even had for a pitch selection. I haven't been. Again, I'm not too versed in softball. It's not been my specialty.
She's
Going to be hit over to the second
nice
baseman,
job,
picked
Carly.
up by White. Fires over and gets the out for the
Rounds
second
two,
out.
The second baseman for out number 2. Brings up shortstop number 20.
Nice play there again by
Ella
Carly White to
Tower.
stay down.
Moldenhauer on deck.
Fields it cleanly, gets it over to Garrettson for the out. Brings up Ella Tower, number 23. That's going to be hit over to the right-hand side.
Tower flies out to the right.
Flies
fielder.
out, I missed it on
Half
there,
of
to
the fourth to get
Ava
no runs,
Van de
no
Zandt
hits,
to
and
get the
there's
run.
nobody left.
No runs, no hits, no
And
errors,
at the
and nobody
3.5,
on.
the score remains Post
3.5, the
91.
score is 5-2 for Post 91 over Post 210 here from Waupun. We'll be back for the bottom of the fourth. Leading things off for Post 210 will be number 28, Carly White, and then the top.
Five O's. Yeah. I have to ask Bill Yedman. He used to play for the 5 O's. I don't know. No.
Leading things off in the Waupun half of the fourth. Number 28, Carly White. Van de Zandt on deck.
Welcome back here to Jerry Minema Field here in Waupun. Bottom of the fourth inning, Post 210 trailing Post 91 here in Legion Women's Softball. Ball to the inside. Gets underneath Damro. Kind of caught the shins of Randy Armga. Carly White trying to get things started out here for the Post 210. Inside again and in the dirt. 2-0 for Kelsey Yamber. That's been a pretty consistent pitch of hers. It's been in the dirt quite a bit. Here comes the pitch. Inside again. 3-0. I kind of mentioned it before, Jeff. It kind of looks like she's rushing her delivery a little bit. That's why it's inside as well as why it's low and bouncing.
Yeah, if you see her, watch her delivery, if she slows down, becomes more deliberate, then you usually get a more accurate pitch, just like that.
Just like that one.
Yeah, right. That one was the delivery was a little bit more deliberate. She slowed down and, right down the middle.
Yep, 3-1 is the count now to Carly White, the number 9 hitter for Post 210. Got on with a base on balls. That's going to be fouled off to get to a full count.
But back to your thing about 5-0s, I'll have to talk to the Oconomowoc coach about that. But, in baseball, we have our Wild Turkeys over there, Post 210. That could be just the team name of their Legion team.
Right,
Even
it
though
could
they're
be,
Post
yeah.
91. And I know we used to have the Hawaii 5-0 TV show, but
Yeah.
they said 5-0, but that was in dedication to Hawaii being the 50th state.
Yeah, right. Strikeout looking for Carly
Strikes out
White
for out number 1.
for the
Brings
first
up
out. A good job
number
there by
9,
Yamber to be down
right
3-0 and
fielder
come
Ava
all the
Van
way
Dusen.
back
Climb
and
on
get the
deck.
win or get the strikeout. Brings up number 9, the leadoff hitter Ava Van Dusen for post 210. Down the middle, hit to the third baseman, scooped cleanly, fires across the diamond, and erases Van Dusen. What a great play there by the third baseman. Quickly snapping that, picking that up, 5-3 put out for the second out. It's going to bring up the number 2 hitters, number 0, Kylie Plime.
Still getting used to her wearing 0. During the spring it was
Yep,
number 55.
55,
But
yep.
as we said when they were getting their uniform numbers, they were told that you have a choice between the number 0 through 40.
Yep. And it's a new thing. A lot of players are picking that number 0. And I don't think I saw a lot of that before. It's just it's contradictory. Number 0.
Well, supposedly it's not really a number.
Right. That's why I say so as
Right,
a former
exactly.
math teacher.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm Mr. Social Studies.
There
so
you
got to
go.
remember, I believe it's the Mayans that came up with the number 0.
Yeah. Right.
It's a value, not a number.
Right.
Ooh, okay, let's stop the education talk
Right.
here.
We're here for
School's
some
out.
baseball, right?
School's out. We're here for softball, yep. But it's all right, little tasty tidbit.
3-1 and draws the walk
Time reaches on the base on balls.
for the
Brings up
second time.
Catcher number 2, Kaylee Westfall.
Brings up
Garrison on deck.
Kaylee Westfall, who had a single and a walk, got all the way over to third base.
Yeah, left stranded with bases loaded.
Yeah,
and one
loaded.
out.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable. Inside,
There we
there's a
go.
base hit up the middle, right center field. That's going to go to the fence. With good speed in front of her is Plime. Plime is going to turn and come all the way home, cut off by the pitcher. And a good job there on the RBI for Westfall and the double.
Brings in a run.
And it is now 5-3 as Waupun post
Brings up
210
first baseman number
is able to
12,
close it
Lexi
in. You see the run
Garrison.
coming back on the
Rivera on deck.
instant replay, so they can switch it over sooner. Brings up Lexi Garrettson. Looking for... Gets past the catch. Good job there by Westfall to move all the way over to third with 2 outs. We talked about this before, too. Here they go again, scoring with 2 outs.
Yep.
Garrettson is looking for her first hit, drew a walk, and then was put out 6-3.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be hit over again to
Oh,
the
this
short
time-
third baseman, drops it. He had a good hustle play there by Garrettson. She is not one who we would say is a fast runner, and she got on her horse there and was able to get all the way over
Garrettson
to
reaches
first
on the
base
air.
without getting put out. A good hustle play there
Brings
by
up
Garrettson
designated
and the
player number
RBI. And we
Raz
now
Rivera
have
on
a
deck.
5-4 game here as the lady post 210ers. For right now, I'm going to have to use that until we can come up with what their nickname is going to be.
No.
Maybe that should be a contest that they should host here before halfway through the season or something like that. Get people to put in their
With
recognitions.
suggestions?
Yeah, you know what we could do here? I haven't talked a lot about it. Raz Rivera up to bat now, but you got to put some stuff in the chat there, folks.
Well,
Ladies like to hear that.
I already said my proposal, and you kind of
Yep.
scoffed at
Oh,
it. with
I
the-
would
with
never
the-
do so.
With the roses, in dedication to Rosie the Riveter, connected to the military and so forth.
Got it.
And the power of women.
That's right.
So I mean, that's that's my
So we'll put that
suggestion.
in the chat, Jeff. Make sure you put that
Yeah,
in there. That
what I'll do is I'll go back to your YouTube and put it in there. But I mean, but the thing is our colors are black and
Yep.
red, and I don't know. The thing is like a rose, and you want to impress that girl. What do you give her? A rose.
Yep. And going down
Rivera
swinging
strikes out to end the Waupun half
again
of the
is
fourth.
Raz Rivera, a second time
But not
swinging
before
and
2
striking
runs
out.
come across on one
for the
hit.
third
There was
out.
1 error and 1
2
walk.
runs
And at the end of
on
the
1
fourth
hit,
score, Oconomowoc
1
5,
error,
Waupun
and
4.
1 left on. After 4 complete here from Jeremy Field, your score is 5-4. Post 210 trying to come back here at the initial game of Wisconsin Legion softball inaugural season. We'll be back. Welcome back here to Jerry Field. As Jeff so eloquently mentioned, it's not Waupun's inaugural game. It is Wisconsin Legion's girls softball or women's softball initial game that's taking place here.
Yeah, kind of like you said, this would be a great trivia question 20 years from now and
Yep.
say, where was the first women's Legion softball game played?
Nice
And
change up there by
you
Braun.
could say June 7th, Waupun, Wisconsin.
That's right.
So,
All kinds of trivia here.
First base hit, first one.
Right, exactly.
Right, first RBI.
Hit to the right side and fouled off.
You know, and speaking of first hit right here, Carly Moldenhauer is the one that got the first hit in the top of the first and eventually scored on the first RBI by Mickey Burrow, who's on deck.
And she had the first stolen base.
Yeah.
Inside, fouled, popped up into the air, trying to get there. What a play by the Waupun catcher. I'm sorry I didn't pop that over.
To the catcher.
Great job
Route number 1 brings up third baseman
by
number 22,
Kaylee
Mickey
Westfall,
Burrow.
getting that pop-up
Cook on deck.
for the first out.
The dangerous Mickey Burrow. Who's
Mickey
already got
Burrow,
two
I want to
doubles
check her
already.
number.
Number 22.
It is 22, so they do have two
Yeah.
22s. And a good play
Burrow
there.
rounds out for out number 2. Brings up first baseman number 99. Correction. We have a pinch hitter.
Number 42
Number
coming up.
42. Geneva Erickson.
Geneva Erickson coming up to hit for Cook. So they do have two 22s now. That just seems weird. There's got to be some regulation up against that.
Well, I know in high school there is, but I don't know about Legion. And it could be a situation, who knows, a little mix-up with the jerseys. You know, and it says 5 O's on there, so I'm guessing Oconomowoc, before they became a Legion program, this is probably like a club program of some sort.
Right. Yep, no doubt about that probably, but I'm glad that they did switch over to Legion. That's good to see all of those people doing so. And Addie Brown gets the strikeout for the third out.
Number 3.
Strikeout looking
gets no runs, no hits,
by the
no
pinch
errors,
hitter,
and
Geneva
leave
Erickson.
none. At the end of 4
No
and a
runs,
half,
no
your
hits,
score,
no errors,
Oconomowoc
and
5,
nobody left on.
4.
5-4. The post 210er is going to try and come back and see if they can tie this thing up here in the bottom of the 5th. You're listening to Jeff Sauer and Jeff Taves here on Jeff's live stream on YouTube. Again, put some stuff in the chat here. I know I haven't mentioned that a lot, but for our followers here, we love to give those shout-outs. The girls are going to go back and watch the game. The coaches go back. Sometimes we have picked up some of the stuff that their cameras don't. And taking a look here, normally Coach Navis has a camera hanging here on the back of the screen, and he doesn't. So his only video is going to be what we're producing. So you know that the girls are going to see it. And I don't care if you're for Oconomowoc or for Waupun. Just put that information out there. And again, this is the inaugural
New
game
pitcher
of
for
Wisconsin
post 91,
softball
number 20,
Legion
Haley
ladies
Bolson.
starting here in 2023. Go, new pitcher in for Oconomowoc, and she hits the first batter she faces in Addie Braun.
By pitch.
Turns the shoulder, takes it,
Brings
wears
up
it for the
left
team.
fielder. Correction, brings up. We have a
And
pinch
she'll
hitter,
be
number
on now for the
21,
third time.
Ryan Babish. Hannah
Coming up now
Beatty,
is going to be
courtesy runner. for the
Ryan
pitcher.
Babish coming in to pinch hit. Let's see if Ryan, I said Ryan. I was thinking about they don't want you to, it's spelled like Ryan, but you
But
don't
don't
call her
pronounce
that.
it that way, no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can yell at me. It's
That's
on me.
all right. Yeah. And another thing is it's Babish, not Babiash.
Yeah, right. That I'm good with because I've got her dad as
Yep,
the hockey
right.
head coach, Matt, so we've had a lot of conversations.
Mhm.
He's done a good job of bringing that program back. Ryan, just a great athlete, volleyball, basketball, just solid competitor. And has stepped in as a freshman, now a sophomore a couple of times as well in the varsity lineup here. So first pitch inside for a ball by the new pitcher, Allie Bolson. Eddie Braun sitting over at first base. Here's the pitch. Laid down, fair ball. Beating it out down the line. A good hustle play there by Braun as she was able to beat it out.
Reaches.
Babish, I'm sorry about that. And, of course, I
sack
did
bunt.
not click the camera fast enough as I was watching the play.
Brings up
My
center
apologies.
fielder, number 7, Rowan Harder.
So
White
infield
on deck.
hit for Ryan Babish. Runners now at first and second. Again, trying to lay one down the first base side. That's going to be fired down there by the catcher. Out at 1, but the runners do advance
Harder
on
with
that
the
sacrifice bunt. Runners move up
For
to
out number
second and
1.
third.
Brings up second baseman, number 28.
Nice
Carly
job there by
White.
the catcher to
Van de
hop
Zandt on
out
deck.
of there and get that play, as that was Damrow hopping up and firing it over to Burrow. No messing around here. Pitching quick here. Bolson, I'm having a hard time switching back and forth.
And the girls doing a good job of just, like I said, down 1 run and trying to manufacture at least one to tie it back up. Good thing to do when you got you got a new person over there at third base,
Right.
and Erickson, and a new pitcher. So
And a new first baseman. Test them all around.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to play a little small ball. It's a little high. I think I noticed, Jeff. I think the scoreboard is working.
Oh my goodness!
I just noticed that as I
Yeah,
was
same
looking
here.
up
You,
here.
you
and,
said it, and I looked, and I go, oh yeah.
So I'll have to fix that here on my display.
Yeah.
Drawing the walk.
Carly White.
It's going to be
reaches
Carly
on
White.
base on balls, brings up
Her second time
right
on
fielder
base
number
on a
9,
base on
Eva
balls.
Van de Zandt.
And
Climb
the
on
bases are going to be loaded. Coming up to the top of the order, number 9, Ava Van de Zandt. Coach is going to come out and have a conversation. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, the thing is, too, is you can remember Eva last time she was up, she hit that hot smash to the third baseman
Right.
and scooped it up. So, obviously, she made some nice hard contact the last at bat. So, hoping this ball has eyes this time around and able to, generate more than just 1 run.
Covering us up over here in the broadcast booth when I put the scoreboard up for this one. They don't need to see us up here in the windows, but we are in the middle and in the first window. 2023 is the season that is up there in the time slot. Here's the pitch. Swing for a strike.
Well,
Went up with a little change and a rise ball at the same time.
Well, like I say, I think the thing is Ava's eyes probably got twice the size when she saw that. And out ahead of this
Hopped
change
up in the back, and a good job there by the catcher to get the out.
Van de Zandt fouls out to the catcher for out number 2.
Just not used to
Brings
seeing
up
a lot of that, but I'm
number
guessing
0,
that's probably is a
shortstop,
pretty
Carly
common play
Westphal on deck.
for the catchers here in softball.
And I think that's probably what that conference was, is to kind of change speeds. I think all she was doing was throwing fastballs pretty much, and she was around the plate, so we were able to make easy contact.
Up now is number 0, Kylie Plime. Scored twice, 2 walks. Bases loaded for Plime.
Struck out swinging in her only
in
official
the
at
second,
bat
yeah.
in the second inning.
Yep, 0 for 1.
0 for 1, but 2 runs scored. So let's just get on, Kylie, because there's a good chance you're going to score.
Everything after 2 outs, that's going to be inside.
I was just going to say, I was just going to bring that up. We got 2 outs, so why not put on a few more runs?
And 3-0 is the count to Plime. Give her the green light.
No, I think you take 1 on this, because you walk, you'll score a run, and sure enough.
And the game is now
Plime,
tied.
Reaches on the
Post
base on
210
balls.
ties it up here with post 91. As coming
Brings
across
up
to
catcher
score
number
is going to
2,
be
Kaylee Westphal.
Addie Braun. As Plime takes that walk as an RBI,
Mm-hmm.
brings up Kaylee Westfall.
Yeah, 2 for 2 and
That's
2
a little
runs
bit
scored.
behind her. That's going
Oh,
to
look
get
at this.
past. Going to try and make the play. She is
Under
in
the
there
tag.
safe. Oh, good job there by Ryan Babish coming in and scoring. Good hustle play there. All the runners advance up, and now Post 210 with the lead here on Wisconsin Women's Legion Softball inaugural game. Here in the bottom of the 5th.
I'm just looking forward to Westfall making some solid contact once again. Last time
Ooh.
up, she drilled a double to right center to drive in a run.
Yeah, 1-1 is the count here to Westfall.
I was just going
No
to say
pitch.
she called time and the girl was already into her windup.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just gotta wait. Gotta wait for the umpire to let you know it's all good.
Yeah, saying she was working very quick before I mentioned that. And,
Well, yeah, you brought that up. She had a little rhythm.
give me the
going.
ball and let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go.
Yeah, kind of like the present Colorado Rockies, former Milwaukee Brewer pitchers,
Yeah.
the Raptor, left-hander, 435.
too.
Trying to think, but he always worked quickly. Now I bother me now. I can't get the name, but kind of his MO, working quickly. He might not even overpower you. He just
Fouls that one off. It's not Lauer, right? You're not thinking of.
no, I'm not
I
thinking
know-
of Lauer.
I know who you're
Yeah,
thinking of
yeah,
too. I can
yeah.
see it. Left-handed pitcher. right?
Left-handed
Yep.
pitcher, work quickly. Like I say, a fan favorite just because of his character.
Yep. Inside, that's
Ooh,
going to be
that could be
sawed off
trouble.
the handle, and it's
Look
going
at
to be a
this.
base hit, and 2 runs are going to score by Westfall. Her single gets 2 RBIs, and now Post 210 with a 3-run lead, 8-5. It's going to bring up Lexi Garrettson. So in a doubleheader, do you know, Jeff, are they playing 2 6s or do they play 2 7s?
They'll play 2 7s.
Because I think like in baseball when they usually did a doubleheader, didn't they
It was
shorten it
2
to 2
sevens.
6s? Oh, I thought
sevens.
it was 2
It was 2
6s.
sevens because you normally
Base
play
hit
9.
there for Garrettson, trying to get to third,
Ooh.
and getting in there in a hurry is Kaylee Westfall. And a good job there by Garrettson, getting that base hit.
Designated player number 8, Raz Rivera.
That is the 3rd hit that I have down for this inning for Post 210. Brings up Raz Rivera. She would love to get in on this hit parade and everything after 2. Once again.
Only 3 hits this inning. But we had a hit by pitch. We had a base on balls.
First pitch in there to Rivera is a strike. Yeah, I got Westfall and Garrettson and Babish for hits.
Correct. Yep, same here.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to have to have a conversation again. Blah, blah, blah. Nice one. Oh, Raz.
Over to the third baseman, hot corner, fired across, and a good play there. Drop, though. And now the scoreboard stopped working again. Rivera's going to get over to second as that ball was dropped by the first baseman. We talked about it. Burrow coming in as the new first baseman may not be aware of Erickson, who fired it quickly.
Pitcher number 13, Addie Braun.
And Westfall's going to score. Garrettson's going to get all the way to third, and Rivera moves
Deja
to
vu
second.
all over again.
Yeah. And hit by pitch. We got to change this scorebook now. 10th batter.
That's all right. I don't mind doing that. I've done that in the past.
Yep, we'll take it.
Beatty, courtesy runner for Braun.
I'm sorry, who was that? Who's the courtesy?
Hannah Beatty.
Hannah Beatty coming in as the courtesy for the pitcher. Braun gets hit by pitch. Second time in this inning.
Now batting Ryan Babish.
Babish coming up
Partner on
again.
deck.
Keep this hit parade going after 2. She's going to pop that one up into the infield. Shortstop calls. What a play by the shortstop
Babish
for
flies up
post
to the
91.
shortstop.
Wow, what a play there. Great hustle play by Ella Tower, laying out and getting the catch. Waupun, though, puts a 5 spot up on 4 hits.
3.
3 left on and 1 error.
Of 5 complete.
And the Waupun post 210 now takes the lead,
Waupun 9.
9-5. We'll be back for the top of the 6th. You're listening to Jeff Sauer and Jeff Taves here on Jeff's live stream. Welcome back to Jerry Miedema Field. Leading things off, number 22, Jordan Gens. So the Waupun post 210 takes the lead after 5 complete here. Score of 9-5. Post 210, the Waupun ladies. Braun comes and deals quickly to Gens for a strike. It is fantastic to have the pitching staff here that Post 210 has, and they're going to be around for a while.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, you had, nice
Strike
to see
2.
Raz Rivera get in there and get a little
Yep.
pitching in, too. So normally it's the 1-2 punch of Braun and Farley.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see her Farley coming up here in the second game potentially.
I'm pretty sure. I think also you're going to see some of these girls that were on the bench for Waupun get in for game 2.
Yeah, we would hope so. 1-2 is the count now here to Gens. Came down here for the inaugural game of this Wisconsin Legion program. See if he can get as many players in and is exposed. Fouls that one off.
Now we had, obviously, Coach Stanky have a few words, and then we brought in our mayor, Ron Bishop, for some remarks, along with Post 210 Commander Bob Petroli and Medical Group Commander out of the 115, Colonel Jessica Sullivan. And all 3 of those threw out ceremonial first pitches. They were all on the inside corner, and they didn't bounce it.
Yeah. And a good job there by Sullivan to talk a little bit about her connection to the military and what it's brought for her. Fouled off again there by Gens. Want to get out there and make sure. A couple of people jumped in, and thanks again for jumping in on the Brent Suter coming here by Milwaukee
That's
Brewer,
it,
number
Brent.
24. Thank you for adding that into it. That's what we were thinking of.
That's it. I just knew he's known, his nickname was the Raptor.
Yeah. Nikki Broxma, appreciating the fact that we're doing this from Oregon, has a chance to watch her niece, Ava, play. So you bet. This is kind of why we do this. When anybody asks me, again, I'm not trying to figure out how I can break even with this Legion season. That's going to be hit on the ground, get over to second baseman Carly White, and flips it for the first out. So I'm kind of debating back and forth, and you guys are the first ones here that's going to come up in the boys Legion season as well. And I don't know what I'm going to do moving forward yet, but talking about got to get some way to offset these expenses. I got a lot of money invested in equipment, and I've kind of broke a couple of broken cameras so far just this year. And good pitch there by Braun for a strike. And just got to cover some of the gas and stuff like that. And my son says, well, Dad, put out your Venmo thing. Well, I only use Venmo a couple of times, and I don't understand it that well. That seems kind of like begging, I guess. Strike 2.
Well, I think the people, hey, they appreciate what you do, and I think the thing is to me it's like going to a restaurant and tipping a waiter or a waitress for the job they did.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at. This Venmo was kind of a way of like you getting tipped for what you do.
Fouls that one off. Yeah.
Oh.
I can go to a pay-per-view system. I have not done that. I've explored it a couple of times with a system out there called The Cast, and I'm not a fan of
No.
doing that type of stuff, but if I have to maybe put it in there for a couple of big games just to break even, that's maybe what I'll try and look at. But until then, enjoy the free broadcast, and thank you again for putting your information in the chat, and continue to do so. And while you are watching, it would be great for you to reach out and contact other relatives and let them know what's taking place, so you get a chance to watch this. Strikeout to Rupnow. Thank you very much, Jeff, for the second out. Went down looking, I believe. Swinging. Okay. So coming in is number 20, the new pitcher, Allie Bolson. She came in for Kelsey Yamber.
This is her first at bat of the ball game. You know, decent substitution. You got Bolson here coming in, and Yamber did a good job pitching. Struck out looking here both plate appearances. So in comes Bolson, and seeing what she can do.
Yeah. You know what, Jeff? I think that if you're good with it, I think we should see if we can get some interviews here.
Oh yeah.
At the end of this game, and I don't care if it's coaches and players from both teams or whatever, but I think that the fact that we've got this is history in the making, and this is why I came down to do this today, specifically. And that's while we have that chance, let's see how these folks feel about being on that side of history.
Bolson reaches on the base on ball.
Base on balls. This is rather unusual. That coming from Addie Braun. 4 straight balls and getting the base on balls. It's going to bring up number 21, Bella Damrose. So I think we'll stick around with us at the end of this game. I'm debating. I think I probably am going to switch to a different channel, or not a different stream. So you'll have to come back and log back in if you're here to watch both games, and I hope that you will. So it'll be games 1 and 2. Here is the doubleheader that'll be on a different link that'll be coming up. I'll put that in there, but I want to get the coaches' perspectives. That one's fouled off by Damro. 0-2 quickly. So see if we can get that taken care of here. We get my microphone and get stuff broadcasting. Have Jeff go down there. He did a nice job on there. Let's find out what the girls think. That's going to be hit to the right side. Just foul.
That was Coach Thankey's daughter, Tenley, coming over asking where the wireless mic was, and I'm like, oh, they had it. They're using it for the opening ceremonies, and I don't know what they did with it since then. So, tell you the truth, I'd love to do some interviews, but I don't have the wireless mic.
I will have it for you.
Oh, you
so,
will? Okay.
Yep, I'll have you all set up, Jeff. So on the channel, at least, we won't have anything to do out there. But let's grab about 2 or 3 girls, and again, a strikeout there from Braun to get the third out to Damro. End of the top of the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on. 9-5, Waupun post 210 over Oconomowoc post 91. We'll be back here at the bottom of the 6th. Again, you're listening to Jeff Sauer and Jeff Taves here on Jeff's live stream. Okay. Welcome back here to Jerry Minima Field. Rolling harder, gets ahead of that little changeup there. Bolson's thrown a bunch of those changeups coming in, and she was able to keep some of the hitters a little bit off balance, but the post 210 after 2 outs just will put everything back together again. and was able to drill 5 runs, all of them attributed to Bolson as they took the lead. So again, stick with us. That's going to be hit on the ground over to the shortstop. Fielded cleanly, fires across the diamond. A good strong arm by the shortstop over there in Ella Tower. Fires it across the diamond. Good ground ball hit there by Harder. He's going to ground out on the 6-3 put out for the first out. Brings up Carly White, the number 9 hitter in the spot. She's 2 walks and struck out once. So again, as you had mentioned before, Jeff, that's a 0-1 hit. That's going to be down the third baseline. Foul.
But she was one of the 5 runs back in the 5th as she got on by base on balls and was able to score.
So we'll just kind of try and figure out, we'll feel out what the girls were thinking. That's going to be hit on the ground through the center. And Carly White with a base hit, her first hit of the game. Now 1 for 2. She's been on 3 times. 2 of them were a walk.
Pinch hitter.
Pinch hitter coming up is number 30.
The boomer, Leah Bawalda.
Leah Bawalda. Here's the first at bat for Leah. That first pitch is going to be in there for a strike.
Yeah, to stick in my little 6th grade nickname I had for the boomer.
Okay.
She was one that if she got an answer right in class, she'd go, boom.
Oh,
like, yeah.
got
so
it.
I was like, all right.
That's a nice change up there. Ahead of her now 0-2. Getting her first action here. Talked about and asked the girls what their thoughts were and how they thought the game went. And she takes a swing at that one and strikes out.
Strikes out for out number 2.
Second out, strikeout.
The shortstop, Kylie.
Brings up Kylie Plime now, coming back up to bat. She has scored all 3 times, or 3 times that she's been on. That's going to be inside for a ball. She struck out in the second, but otherwise she's drawn 3 walks. So she's 0 for 1, but 3 runs scored.
But kind of going back to Bawalda, she's another one of the many freshmen that are on the team, and you were talking about the future of Waupun softball. Here you got a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores, and you got a good leadership from the junior class. And then, of course, the captain, Lexi Lehman, who, did a great job at third base this spring.
Oh, yeah. And I believe when I heard from, I think it was again from Randy Armga, or it might have been Steve Winterhack that might have been having a conversation that that's going to be popped up into the air, foul, out of play. That Lehman, I believe, is the only one who is not playing. She has prior commitments to a different program. I believe that she's going to stick with playing, which I get it. We've had to do the same thing when Caleb was doing summer hockey stuff.
Right.
Stuff pops up all of a sudden, and you've already made a commitment, and we stick with the commitment that we make. So,
plus, Lexi said that she's going to UW Green Bay. She doesn't plan on playing softball out there because she's going into the area of health administration. She's going to focus on her schoolwork. But, she's played for this club team for quite a few years, and I'm sure she's developed some friendships and so forth and some loyalty.
Ooh. Ripped foul by Plime.
Yeah, put a little change up and in, and Plime turned and burned on that one and scared the dickens out of many people over there in the Waupun dugout. They're awake now.
That little changeup is going to miss, and it was a full count.
On the base on balls.
And once again, on by a base on balls. That's the 4th time she's walked.
Number 2 catcher, Kaylee Westfall.
And now we've got
on deck.
Runners at first and second for post 210.
Yeah, and here you got a couple things. 2 outs.
Yeah.
And another thing, too, is Plime reaching on a base on balls. Every time she's reached on a base on balls, she's scored.
Yeah.
So we got 2 things in our favor.
You got to keep it rolling. Exactly. You're right. First pitch is a ball inside to Westfall.
Oof. Ooh. All right. It was one of those she wanted it. She's thinking about it. And
Must have held back.
Yeah, held back, and I don't know. I was gonna say, but Randy hasn't been calling the balls up too high. He's usually been belt to knees all day.
Yep. Very consistent.
Oh yeah.
2-1 is the count now to Westfall. She's got 3 hits in the game. Turns on that one, just foul. Missing down the line.
Right. Nice. Like I look at Kaylee Westfall. Even though the ball's in on her hand, she's able to keep the hands in.
Clear the hips.
And clear the hips, and that one she didn't miss by much. And then I remember that 2-strike double that she hit right center.
Yeah.
Nice job inside outing that. So it doesn't matter where you're gonna pitch. She's got a good stick up there. That's why they put her down in the 3 spot, even though all spring she was pretty much leading off.
Right. Turns on that one. Force out over at third for the third out. The first time that she's been put out. I take that back. She was put out, yes, also on a 5 unassisted, but that was after she had the single. So it's going to be another 5 unassisted for the third out. 9-5 is the score here from Jerry Minima Fields in Waupun. Post 210 leading post 91 in this inaugural game of Wisconsin Women's Legion softball. We'll be back for the top of the 7th, and then stick around. I'm going to check and see what you put in the chat as well. And make sure you let your friends know that they can watch this game and see history in the making. Listening to Jeff Sauer and Jeff Taves here on Jeff's live stream. Welcome back to Jerry Minima Field here in Waupun. Post 210 from Waupun taking on Post 91 from Oconomowoc. Waupun, the home team in this game. I'm assuming they switch. They normally do that on a double header as well. So we'll see if that will take place because there is another game right after this, so stick around with us. So it's going to take almost 2 hours, which kind of caught me by surprise. That pitch is going to be a ball. 2-0 is the count to Lacey Griswold, the leadoff hitter. Eddie Braun still in the circle. Right on the outside edge for a strike, 2-1. So stick around again here with us. We'll get a couple of interviews. We'll see how much time. So we'll catch Jeff right out by home plate. I'll tilt the camera and zoom in a little bit, see if we can get to maybe a couple of the coaches and a couple of the girls, maybe 1 or 2 from each program to see if they want to put in their thought of making history. Inside, and she draws the walk.
Griswold reaches on the base on balls, brings up shortstop number 23, Ella Tower.
It's the second walk I see issued, I believe, there by Addie Braun.
Second one. Either she's been striking them out or walking them. We had 1 ground out.
Yeah.
since she came in.
On the outside edge. That's going to be hit over to third. Picked up by Schultz. Fires across the diamond. Gets the out. And the runner moves over to second.
Route number 1.
A good play there by
Brings,
Schultz,
number
who was
15,
struggling
right
earlier
fielder
at
Carly
third base, but has
Moldenhauer.
made a good
Burrow
adjustment over there, and that was a good cannon she was able to show, firing it across the diamond.
Basically, what I got, hopefully, is from Oconomowoc, this Carly Moldenhauer, who actually had the first hit in the history of Wisconsin Legion ball, and first run and first stolen base. And the thing is on the right behind her, the cleanup hitter, Mickey Burrow, who had 2 doubles, a run scored, and an RBI.
Yamber had the lead while she was pitching, too, so maybe that's something we catch later. That's going to be fouled off the end.
We'll see on that one. But I don't want, like I say, you don't want to, like,
Right,
I don't know how much time is in between.
Yep.
So I'm figuring 2 people from each side and the coaches.
That would be awesome.
And then from Waupun right now, I'm looking at, even though, like, Kylie Plime has not got on by a hit, but she's reached base 4 times, scored 3 times.
Yeah.
And then the other one would be Westfall, who's got 3 hits, 4 ribbies, and scored twice. So there you go. And then hopefully, like I say, get the coaches involved.
That would be fantastic.
Right.
Waiting for a new ball. I think that one got banged up by hitting into the fence. I'm thinking.
No, I just think Randy ran out. You know, both.
No, he threw that one over.
Oh,
So Braun had it in her hand. She looked at it, didn't like it, threw it down, and Randy took a look at it and fired it to the dugout. Inside, that's going to be pop fly. Nice
Babish.
play there.
Oh.
Just off of the glove. I thought Babish had that coming in. Almost had that on the dive.
With the base hit,
And she's going to get the base hit, as that was definitely
brings,
a difficult
first baseman number 22
play to be made.
Burrow.
Cannot give an error to Babish on that
Erickson
at
on
all. Runners now at first and third with only 1 out. Brings up Burrow.
This will be interesting here with runners on the corners and 1 out. And you're up by 4, so like if somebody steals, do you go for it?
Yeah, right. Try and get the put out. Or do you see, like we saw in the baseball game yesterday for the boys, that's going to be 1 fouled off, 1-1. Gets a ball in. I believe it's 1-1. I can't remember. Oh, 0-2, my fault.
0-2, yeah. Wasn't disagreeing with you.
I just didn't see the first pitch, to be honest. Nice strikeout. Oh! Almost had her, and I couldn't flip the camera fast enough, as you were talking about.
Burrow strikes out for out number 2. Brings up number 42, third baseman Geneva Erickson. Ken's on deck.
Moldenhauer advances over to second base. Good job there by Westfall to fire over to third to try and get that on. Almost had it. Erickson's going to foul that one off for a strike.
And appreciate her, popping out of there and not hesitating.
Yes.
And Schultz was right there. And to tell you the truth, I think if the ball was thrown a little lower, we might have had a play to conclude the game.
I think you're right. So again, stick around with us here. Unless Oconomowoc is able to put up 4 runs to tie this thing right now, down to their last out. Jeff will rush down as he gives some quick numbers to the rest of the fans here, and he'll rush down there and see if he can get a little bit of a conference. 1-2 is the count here to Geneva Erickson, who came in as the pitcher. On the outside, does a good job of staying alive and just slaps at it. 1-2 still, 2 outs. The first game here of a doubleheader, number 1, number 2, first game in Wisconsin history for Girls Legion softball. And gets her to strike out to end the
Erickson
game.
Strikes out to end the Oconomowoc half of the 7th and also to end game 1.
Oconomowoc falls on the losing side, 9-5.
Oconomowoc, 5 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors. And
9 hits.
6 left on. And for Waupun, 9 runs on 6 hits, 1 error, and 12 left on. Time of the game, 1 hour and 53 minutes.
1 hour and 53 minutes for the first game, and we're going to see if, Josh has got something he's got up there.
Hey, everyone, thank you very much for coming. We do have one.
You can go ahead out there.
presentation here. We had a really special girl in our high school here that can't make.
So Jeff is going to run down there. I'm going to see if I can pick up what's going on here with Josh Novice.
So if you come on, well, first thing she tells me, I'm not very good. I'm like, I think you're going to be all right. I think Coach Ron here will really love you here on JV. And normally we don't give letters to girls that play JV, but I asked the administration if it was okay. She was real special, added a spark. She started in the outfield, moved to second base, solidified that. So Lando could move to first and really shored up our JV, who ended up with 16 and 6. Did a great job down there. She's a big part of it. Even had a home run. She has her home run ball. That's all right. Coach Shields got a speech. They signed a ball for you to take home with you. And here's your letter. And Coach Ron has some things to say as well.
When I think of Waupun softball, there are a few things that come to mind. Hard work, dedication, and the want to be better. Sophie couldn't display these characteristics anymore. When she first started coming to open gyms, one thing that stood out to me was that she was always listening. The other girls would ask a question about how to do something, and Sophie would walk over and listen to see what she could learn. Sophie was never afraid to ask questions and always wanted to get better.
You, Mickey, and
She
the
put in
coach.
work during practice and out of practice. It seemed like softball was something that came naturally to her. Sophie started the year in right field for us, but quickly moved her way to second base. When it came time to step up to the plate, Sophie could do anything we asked her to do. Bunt, slug, DSB, and she even hit an over-the-fence home run in our last home invite. I don't think I've ever heard a crowd so loud or seen a smile so big from Sophie. She had a hot stick all season for us. After our season ended, she continued to help out with the Youth Eclipse program and came to a few practices to help the younger girls. I hope she is okay with me sharing this, but after our last game, she came up to me and said, "I'm really sad to be done playing softball. I wish I could play when I go home." Sophie, you may not be able to play when you go home, but I am beyond proud to have been your coach this season. I am so proud of you and all you've accomplished. There is a saying that goes, there's no place like home. I'm glad you found home here in Waupun and on our diamond. We will all miss you so much. Have a safe trip home and please stay in touch. We love you, Sophie, and congratulations.
We have a saying, once a warrior,
Always the warrior. Westfall and Plime, and then Coach Stanky.
All right, so I'm going to ask you to stick around here, and we'll see if we can get some interviews here. As Jeff Taves is down on the diamond, seeing if we can pick up some interviews from a couple of the girls and maybe the coaches, and see if we can get a couple of girls from Oconomowoc as well to come on over and talk to us. Since history is being made right here, so we might as well make sure that we are able to share as much as we can about the history of the game.
And then you want to come out here too? Okay. Yeah.
So Jeff is trying to get the coaches over there and some of the girls, and they're going to have a conversation about history being made here in Waupun. So let's see what we can get going.
All right, Jeff, got me, buddy?
Jesus, yeah, I got you.
All right. Okay, we'll start the visitors here with Carly and Mickey. Now she can be that trivia question. Who got the first hit in Wisconsin Legion softball history? And here you go. It's Carly, who had 2 hits, 1 run, and 1 stolen base. So, Carly, how you feeling about this whole inaugural Legion softball bit?
It's like fall in Wisconsin, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Then we have Mickey here, who had 2 hits, 1 ribby, and 1 run. Those 2 hits, some long drives, 2 doubles. Anything about how you're in the?
It was going really good until the faster pitching started coming. That's still like a working progress for me, but I feel everything was still going good.
All right, Coach, your feelings in the game here?
We're just very honored to be part of it, and also to have the first game in Waupun. You guys did it up well, and I'm very proud of the team. We hadn't had a practice yet together, so they did well defensively, and hopefully Waupun will let us win the second game.
Also, the 50th state of the United States. What's Oconomowoc? What's the deal with the 5 O's?
So actually, Waupun bench figured it out. There's 5 O's in Oconomowoc, and it's very, very simple. Nothing.
All right, for the bit here. Good luck, game 2. Thank you for your time. All right. Now we go to the punch of and Climb had reached base 4 times on base on balls, and then 3. So Kylie, obviously you must have been tonight.
I was just making sure to be really picky with the pitches that I selected, just so we could get those runs in.
And then to right center. Hitting prowess game.
It went really well. I was seeing the ball well, so just making contact.
All right. Appreciate your time, ladies, and good luck in game. All right. And then Jeff Sauer, like I say to everybody back home, keep on your live stream, and game 2 will be coming up shortly.
Right. Thanks again to Jeff Taves for going out in the field. We still got some bugs to work out with our field our microphone out there, as Jeff gets a little excited and talks into that microphone awful loud, and it ends up blowing it out. So was trying to get it worked there, so I apologize that I didn't get everything there, but there was history in the making as the Waupun Post 210 and Oconomowoc Post 91 were able to play in this initial game, and the Waupun Post 210 wins it. We're going to go take a little bit of a break. I'm going to get the new link that I'm going to put that back up so that you guys can jump back in. I hope you've enjoyed this broadcast, and again, share out there that this game is available for the next game, as the 2 teams will be facing off again here for the second game of the doubleheader. Thanks again for listening to Jeff Sauer and Jeff Taves here on Jeff's live stream. And feel free to continue to let your friends know what's been taking place. We'll be back for that second game, so I'm going to sign off. Make sure you jump back in